Hi guys, today I'm going to be making an envelope folio using the Spellbinders January card kit of the month, and it's the kit and caboodle. So sorry this is so late, but I got my kit literally like just a few days ago. And so yeah, let's get started making our folio. And I'm going to use envelopes out of the card kit, and I'm just going to grab 4 envelopes, and these are A2 sized, and I'm going to be scoring them. I'm making gussets, so the first one is an 1/8 of an inch gusset. You can see that where you just scored an 1/8 of an inch off of that line. The first two are an 1/8 of an inch. Then the third one is a 1/4 of an inch, and then the fourth one is a 1/2 an inch. But then I did the 1/8 of an inch score in between each one, up to the 1/2 inch, and that's just to make it a little bit wider because I plan on stuffing this. My plan is to make this for my granddaughter and get it sent out in the mail. As a matter of fact, it's already out in the mail as of my voiceover to her, and it's going to contain lots of pockets full of paper doll stuff so that she can make her own paper dolls. So we're just going to get started by attaching each one of the envelopes to each other, just like all the other envelope folios. It's no different. You just attach it right on that score line that you made. Try to keep it as even as possible because I've made several of them where they're all wonky and they don't fold properly, and I have to pull them apart. These are great swap items too. You can fill these pockets with a bunch of stuff to send to your pen pals, your swap buddies, and the Spellbinders kits come with so much stuff in them that it's a perfect one to use if you've got a pen pal that you like to swap with. But there it is, all put together. You just kind of play around with the score lines to even everything up, but you see how I've got quite a bit of room in between so that I can stuff those pockets. And actually, by the time I finished it, yeah, I stuffed it so much so I had to actually take some out. So here's all the dies that came in the kit and caboodle and the paper. And remember, this paper is super thin, so you're going to have to back it. It's basically no thicker than printer paper. So you're going to have to back each one with some nice cardstock if you want it to hold up. So for my cover, I decided to do the cover on the other side because I didn't want to cover up this super cute typewriter with the flap that closes the book. So I guess you'd call this the back page. So I'm going to start with just a piece of cardstock there. It's a heavyweight. I think that one's actually only 80 pound. And a piece of the paper from the kit. And this cute, super cute black and white stripe. And I also picked these little hearts up from Michael's. They were in the clearance section of the Valentine's Day stuff. And I'm going to grab one of the gold ones. And I'm going to attach it kind of off center a little bit on that panel there. I'm just going to call each one of these panels because it'll be easier than saying cover, back cover, inside cover. It's just a panel. And because these are super thick, like really thick, I'm going to have to hold it for a second. And there I was just showing you one of the typewriters that I made using just regular paper and decided, I don't like it. So I decided to custom make my own paper for my flowers, my stems, my typewriter, and some of the paper doll clothes. And that's just using the Distress Oxides in different colors and blending them onto, that's the Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock, which is nice and thick. So it's great where you don't have to back it with anything. This is the typewriter that I use that blue handmade paper, and I backed it with some gray. It's just, I think it's a Simon Says stamp gray cardstock. And I also used the gray cardstock and cut off a piece at the top to make the little metal part of the typewriter. I don't know what you call that thing on the top there. And then I just cut out using the dies that you can see up there at the top, and I made the little letter that goes inside. I cut out a bunch of the greenery from the kit, and using, again, the paper that I made using different greens from the oxides that I have. I don't have a ton of colors, so I have to kind of be creative with what I have until I can get my stock up. But I'm just kind of placing them around the typewriter and the heart. And because that heart has some chunky glitter on it, it takes a little while for the glue to set up, and you kind of got to hold it in place. I also cut out some little hearts that are from the white glitter paper that I'm going to use for the centers of the big flowers. So it cuts out a heart from the center, so I'm just basically replacing it by popping up white glitter. And then I'm just going to place the rest of them down. You're going to see my head a lot again. Eventually I'm going to figure out where the best place is to have that camera mounted over my workspace, but I have a really bad habit of sticking my head in the way. So for now, I'm not going to do anything with the centers of the other flowers, only because it doesn't have time to dry while I'm doing this. But in the end, when I finish up everything, I will do something with the little flowers. Probably, I think I used the white Nouveau crystal drops in the center of the little flowers. And I'm just adding a few more of the little sparkly hearts that I cut out. And I'll show you right now what I used for those little hearts. It's a punch that I've had forever, and it cuts out 2 different sizes of the hearts, and I just really like the sizes. They make really great accents on my cards, so I keep that close by and I use it quite a bit. So now I'm showing you that I didn't like the fact that it covered up my typewriter, so this panel is going to go on the back, and I just attached it with my score tape. And now that is the back side. Now this is the side of the folio where the envelope flap goes over. So I'm just kind of decorate around where the flap of the envelope, so that way it's not covering anything up. And again, I'm using, I think this is cardstock that came in the kit, the yellow, and then I'm just putting a yellow piece of the pattern paper on top. I cut out 3 balloons using the dies. These are all using the dies and the stamps that came in the kit. So 3 balloons, 3 of the strings. I fussy cut love from the stamp set, and I also cut out one of the, you can see there, the bow using the sparkly white paper. I'm going to place down my panel. And then I'm just going to arrange my balloons to where the envelope won't cover them up. So kind of off to the side. And I used, again, the paper that I made with the oxide inks to cut out my balloons. And I used the For You is the stamp that came in the set, in this kit. So we're just going to glue down our strings. And when I glued down the strings, I left the bottom part not glued because I'm going to trim those off. So I only put the glue part way down. And I make sure that they come to a part where they gather together, so I can put my bow right in the middle, holding them. And then the love is going to go right at the bottom, so I'm going to trim off the tails of the string and put love right along the bottom. And that will complete this panel. And that way you can see what's there without that thing covering it up. Now I'm going to go through, I did put together most of these paper dolls already off camera, but I'm going to show you a boy and a girl just because when I first got the kit and I was looking at all the pieces, I wasn't sure what they were all for. So this is more for my granddaughter than for you guys, so that when she's putting together her paper dolls, she can come and check out this video and see where everything goes. Because basically each one of the little pockets just has a plastic baggie full of parts. So this way she knows what each part is. So that's the little collar, and you just attach the head right to the collar. And she will have to use her glue that I sent her already to put her paper dolls together. Here's the hair piece, and we're just going to put the hair right, kind of center it right up over the eyes. And one of the things I want to say, if you're going to be using this, any of the pattern paper, you'll see with the girl doll. I'll wait till I get to the girl doll to tell you about it. So the neck piece goes right on the top of the shirt. The shirt I cut out of that same paper that I made. The pants, you kind of just stick them underneath the shirt, and depending on how tall and how long of a t-shirt you want will depend on where you put your legs. And then these little pieces are the shoes. So I cut them out of brown, just the same brown cardstock that I used for the pants. And then I cut socks out of the same material that I used for the shirts. So here's the socks. So Lizzie, if you're listening to this, that's what those little pieces are. Those are socks. Now for the arms, you just want to, depending on what position you want the arms to be in, so if you know that your paper dolls are going to be holding hands, you're going to want to, put them out to where they can hold hands. Or if you think they're going to be holding something in their hands, you want to flip them over so the thumbs are facing in the other direction. If you want to be that picky, you don't have to be that picky. But here's where I'm showing you, since I used the pattern paper that came in the kit, I also cut out of cardstock the same shirt and pants, and I'm just going to layer them on top so that way it's thick enough to hold together, because otherwise that paper is so thin that it'll just fall apart before you even get a chance to put it on to whatever you're going to put them onto. So there I just layered the pants on top of the cardstock, and I'll layer the shirt piece on top of this cardstock. Maybe see when I picked it up how thin it is printer paper thickness. So same thing with this, we're going to put the eyes on, we're going to put the hair just above the eyes. And for the girls, they came with several different options for hair. You can do either ponytails, or in this case I cut out some braids. And I didn't do anything special with the hair on these guys, because there is score lines when you score it out, so it kind of has that shape of hair. But if you wanted to, you could go in with your Copic markers or your pencils or whatever and give it a little more definition. I left it pretty plain because I think they're adorable just the way they are. So it comes with some little hair ties. So Lizzie, that's what these little pieces are. These are the hair ties. And you'll see on all the other dolls that I made where I placed all these pieces. And you can mix and match. You can use those as earrings if you wanted to. They don't have to be hair ties. Here's the neck piece. And for this one, I cut out all the accessories out of the sparkly white paper. And now I'm just going to put together the body while the head dries. The sparkly paper takes longer to dry, so you're going to have to give it a little bit of time to set up. So we're just going to attach her arms, and I put that one arm kind of out a little bit because she's going to be holding hands with the boy. And I put her little sparkly shoes on. And then I cut the socks out of the same paper as her shirt. Just line those up, and then we're going to place the head piece on the body. That collar piece makes all the difference. But at first I had no idea what that was. So with a white gel pen, just going to put some eyes on there. And now we're going to get to putting together the rest of the folio. So for this page, I wanted to use some of the pieces that came in the kit, the ephemera pieces that came in the kit, for this one and for the next page, because these aren't your pocket pages. So these are just decorative, and I thought she would get a kick out of this little bear. So this is one of the bears that came that's like already, it's the 3D one, so it's already kind of popped up. And so I'm using just the paper. I took some brown cardstock for the panel, and then the pattern paper from the kit. And these are hearts also from the kit. And I'm just layering them on top of each other. One of them is the white. The white one is thick 110-pound cardstock, and the other one is the paper from the kit. And then this is the washi tape that came in last month's kit, the December kit and caboodle. And I just love how sparkly and cute it is. And since there's already brown, my panel is brown, I thought this would be a good place to bring in some sparkle with the brown tones of the washi tape. So I'm just going to grab some decorative scissors to cut the ends of my washi tape. And I'm just going to kind of place them. And this is just a little accent to give it a little bit of sparkle. And then I'm going to pop up my bear. And for me, this one, it didn't come off the backing. It lost all of its sticky from the backing piece. The other 3D one came off fine. But this one, because I used it on another card, this one it lost all of its sticky. So I'm just going to glue these pieces down. But normally, the sticky part should be there. But it's okay. I just use glue. And now I'm just figuring out where to put all the little accents that came with the 3D bear. So it comes with hugs and kisses, big hugs and kisses, and then that little heart arrow. I'm just going to place that up there. And that is going to complete this page. Super cute. See, these would make excellent cards too. It doesn't just have to be for the folio, but these can give you some ideas for cards if you wanted to use the elements in a card instead of on a folio. So for this one, I'm going to place it down, but then I got to pull it right back up again because I realized after I placed it down that I needed it. I realized right afterwards, after I was smushing it down, that I needed to use it to measure. So I'm just going to, this one I cut a corner piece from the pattern paper, and then that's just some craft cardstock for the panel. And I'm going to kind of fussy around and try to place as evenly as possible. This is, again, another strip of the white sparkly paper. And I didn't get it even trying to line it up. I'm just going to trim off the edges. And it's still, I should have cut the white sparkly paper a little bit longer strip than what I did because it's not quite long enough, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. It still came out cute. I'm just going to stick this down in the corner. This is another really cute card idea, which I may go back and make these into cards to send to my friend, my mom, and all those people that I send a ton of cards to. They probably get tired of all my junk I send them. So there's the panel, and I'm going to use the little kissing birds, the little love on string sentiment, and a couple of the hearts. And I needed something for them to stand on, so I picked the little heart border. And I'm going to place that kind of down at the bottom so that the birds aren't just floating, and I'll have them standing on the hearts. Right now I'm just trying to figure out where everything is going to sit on the paper. It's just going to be kind of something sort of like that. So we're going to place everything down using the tape. And the ATG gun is good for, because it holds big rolls of tape, and that's why I use it. But in all honesty, it's really easy to pull these pieces back up again. So you have to kind of make sure that you, if you really don't want your pieces to come up, if you're worried about them coming apart, like especially if you're putting together pockets or books or anything where you need your I don't know how to explain it, but the pieces that you don't want to come apart, you don't want to use ATG gun. You want to use like score tape or that red line tape, or any of those things if it's something that you don't want to come apart. So anyway, we finished up that panel, and now we are on to our pockets. So I just used white cardstock as a backer for each one of these pages, and then the pattern paper on top, and you only want to attach it on 3 sides so that you can use your pocket. And here's some of my the ones that I made with you. And I decided they all needed some rosy cheeks, and I know it looks really bright right there, but as soon as it dries, it goes away. I used R00, and then I used the 0 marker, Copic marker on top of it to kind of blend it out. And once it dries, you won't even notice it. I took the Adore You sentiment from the stamp set, and I'm just going to pop that up on the top. I'm just showing you there's a pocket there. And I'm kind of speeding through this part because otherwise this video would be even longer than it already is. But I wanted to leave all this stuff in so you could see kind of a cute way to put something together if you've got for a daughter, granddaughter, nieces, whoever that you maybe want to put one of these together for. These are so stinking adorable, and any little girl would be thrilled to get this. My daughter is kind of jealous. She's 21 years old and she wants stuff like this. She wants me to make her things like this still at that age. And then my my granddaughter's mom, who is 27, is always excited to get this stuff for Elizabeth, but at the same time she's sad because I don't make it for her. So I told her she gets to have fun helping Elizabeth put it together. So even older girls love to get this stuff. Again, I'm using one of the hearts from the kit. I love that die. I can't tell you how many times I've used it. I decided that this little boy needed to be holding something in his hand, so I put together like a little bouquet of flowers for him to hold using some of the flower pieces from the kit. And again, I cut those out from the paper that I made with a distress oxide, and I have another little sparkly bow. And we're going to have him hold it. So for him, I put his hand upside down. You see where his thumb is facing in the other direction? Because I'm that anal that it had to be right. And then that way when you have him holding it, his thumb is facing in the right direction. I'm just going to glue him down. And they're going to be holding hands, but her pigtails, which are absolutely adorable, stick out over the side too much. So now I put their heads kind of together, and then I'll stick the sentiment in between them. And I did have to, in the final, when I was finishing up the final touches, I did have to trim off that corner of her pigtail just so that I could close the book. So another sentiment from the kit. All you need is a heart, and I popped that up. And now we're on to the last one. This is just a little decorative piece that I cut out, and I wanted to use it somewhere because I hadn't used it yet. It was just me playing around with a new set of dies that I got, and that's one of the Tim Holtz Sizzix dies. And it comes with, I think, 4 different like pieces that you can cut out, and I cut it out of white. I just wanted to play with it. The Love, Hugs, and Kisses is also from the stamp set that came with it. Here's one of my last little boys. So I did 3 boys and 2 girls for this, mainly because the girls have so much clothes, clothing options. Oh, I'm sorry, I did 3 and 3. There's 3 girls and 3 boys. Oh, I'm so blind today. I cut out my balloon from some brown sparkly paper. I also cut out some little brown hearts that you'll see at the end, and I put between each of the Love, Hugs, and Kisses. And that will complete our folio. This is the finished product, all done and ready to go. And I just used some twine to hold it together. And there's our front and back. And then here's each one of the, see I've got the little brown hearts in between that match the balloon in between the Love, Hug, and Kisses. And here's all the little pieces. Now inside each one of these pockets is all the parts and pieces for the little paper dolls. And also in her box, because I sent her a whole box of stuff, I also put cards, envelopes, and some of those hearts, the sparkly big hearts that I got at Michael's. I put those also in her box. So she has the cards to put together as well. But this is just where all her paper dolls are being stored. And that's it. So I want to thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope this project gives you some inspiration, even if you just take each one of those panels and use them on cards, or you can make your own folios, or whatever it is that you want to do, as long as you're creating and it makes you happy. Um, I'm glad that I could put this up for you. And again, I really do appreciate you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful week and a wonderful Valentine's Day. And I will see you again real soon. Bye bye.